Good morning, everyone. Today's the 15th of October. This is Brad Matheny again. Really appreciate all the comments yesterday. Yeah, it's pretty exciting when things work out like this. Not only am I able to, help you guys out and try to show you a few things, but when things play out very well and traders are able to see the real value and get on the right side of trades and learn to explore some of my technology. This is what makes what I do kind of fun in the sense that, someone's handed me an impossible puzzle, figure it out. And that's what I do. I try to figure it out. And in the process, I try to help as many people as possible. And I try to make sure that the work is valid that I create. So, like I said, you guys have seen quite a bit. In fact, I was going to show you back over here. This is some of my predictive modeling. It's called the ADL predictive modeling system. This is the SSO on a daily basis. And this goes to show you that, as of the time I did this outlook asking for the most probable future outcome, you can see that we had a big cluster of data up in this area, a moderate little, 2-3% rally out into the end, obviously around October 19th to 25th or so. You can see we had a very low probability, deep low cycle here. But you do see that we have this rollover. The clustering of data starts to roll downward here near the end of October. So there's your idea of where we could run into some trouble, probably around the 24th, 25th, maybe rolling downward into this cycle low, maybe down around 88. That would represent about an 8 to 10% market collapse here before the end of the year. I discount this simply because it's an outlier. It's one outcome that just didn't seem to qualify. The rest of the outcomes were all up in this area. So again, we look at the same type of data over here on RSP. We have one outcome down here that's an outlier. The rest of the outcomes are all pushing up here into the 182, 183 area. And again, that's a 4 or 5% increase. We're not seeing the data out here beyond this 25th, 26th, 27th area. So that's going to be, again, pushing higher, pushing higher. Again, here's the VIX. You can see here that we have these spiking patterns here up in this area, out closer to the end of the month. This is really more like October 20, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 out in this area. And this is where I think we're going to start to see probably some real volatility is out towards the end of the month. I think we're going to get a low liquidity price swing. Here's the XLF, the financial sector. You can see we have more of kind of a outlier lower pattern here. You can see if we take a look at this data, we're rolling up into the end of this week. Basically, that's the end of this week right over here. And then we roll into that consolidation period into roughly the 19th, 20th, 21st. It looks like financials could collapse. We're going to have to see how things set up back down into this 45, 44 maybe area. We'll see how it goes, but that would be around the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and we'll see what happens with financials. QQQ, again, this is data only really going out into early October here. It played out very cleanly. You can see how the predictive modeling system rolled upward. We have the one or two outliers over here to the downside, which seem very unlikely. Then you see we have this rolling pattern up here to 510. We have another pattern over here to call it 503, 504. So the likelihood of us rolling into this pattern and then down into the 490 area near the end of the month seems rather high. I mean, in my opinion, that seems rather high. And then lastly, we have IWM. IWM, we have two or three lower support zones right in this 215, 214 area. And we have a whole bunch of upward trending here and out into this area. So we're really looking at, deeper support around 215, 214, likely to be a very strong support level. And with a fairly strong potential that we might see a good solid bounce up here in IWM before the end of the year, and then maybe consolidate, not end of the year, end of the month, October, the election, and then consolidate maybe around this 224, 228 area right before the election. So again, it helps give me an idea of what price may do. And I think I had somewhere I had an SPY. That's the full spectrum system. I'll do an SPY lookup. Let me come back over here. I'll do an SPY ADL for you today or tomorrow and show it to you at the end of the day. But it's important to learn that, like I said, my research, what I do in the background, is much more detailed than just showing you this stuff. So now we're going to get on to the fun stuff. We're going to show you what's going on. Today we're looking for a breakaway in trending mode on the SPY. That would put us into some sort of a higher market open. I would likely expect the markets to open somewhere around 585 slightly and continue to rally up into 588, 589, maybe up into 590. Going to be a pretty solid rally day, I think. We'll see how it plays out. That means the QQQ is going to be doing the same thing. QQQ is going to be in a pretty solid rally phase today. I think it's more than likely going to, attempt to move just like I drew here yesterday. Attempt to move with a little bit of a push, maybe up into this 501, 500 area. So we'll see how it plays out. Now, remember, you want to look to try to get out at the end of the day today or early tomorrow on a peaking pattern. Remember, tomorrow we have the breakaway in carryover trend. But what I'm asking or looking for in regards to this move is again a moderate potential consolidation period. So we're going to see how that plays out. I don't think the markets are going to be capable of rallying straight through this. I think we're going to see a bit of a consolidation and rallying into this area here. Let me come back over here, make sure carryover, carryover. Okay. So we are then now looking at gold. Gold is moving into a topping pattern today. A topping pattern is usually, I say this because I've seen enough of them over the past couple of years, is usually, come here, get down there. Usually a fairly high scale peak. Okay. So what happens in a topping pattern is we get some sort of a start of the day, moving up into some new high and then rolling downward at some point during the day. So there you go. That's going to be our kind of setup for today. Whether we've rolled here, if this is the top, I doubt it. We'll see. But if this is the top, or it retests this level, tries to get above this level, or gets up into new higher levels, 2699 back up to 2700, I really still believe that gold is going to attempt to move back up into that 2700 level. So if you take a look at this, I see us moving into a top, possibly up above 2680, 2690, rolling through the next couple of days here through consolidation, and then moving into a buy zone around Thursday, the 17th, trying to get back above 2730, 2740 to the upside. But we'll see what price does. Remember, I'm telling you what I see as most likely, and price is going to do what it's going to do. That's how it works. And lastly, we'll look at silver before we go to Bitcoin. Silver is apexed on out. We get this volatility A, B, C, D, E. We're getting this double kind of low pattern here. You can see here this low here, low here. Going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. This, we could theoretically just carry this all the way down as a downward channel. And you can see this lower channel in this area. So we are essentially channeling downward, looking for that breakout move to the upside. And I think that's going to be critical to the next move in metals. In fact, I think that as long as we are consolidating into this channel, we're going to be looking for some sort of a breakaway. So we're really looking for a breakaway kind of up above 31.45, maybe 31.50, kind of in this area. And that will prompt a pretty solid rally in silver. Same type of scenario here is kind of taking place in gold. You can almost see it right here. So we'll set this up. And again, we're going to be looking for some sort of a breakaway. So at this potential point, gold is consolidating in a channel. We do need to see it kind of break out of this channel. You can see we've broken out of this upward channel. We're in a downward channel. We really need to see this breakaway happen for gold to make another attempt. Otherwise, it's going to get trapped in this channel. And as you can see, we do have kind of an excess phase peak pattern here setting up, coming down, moving into flagging. So what's happening here, folks, is that we're really rolling into a kind of a combined pattern here of an excess phase peak, rolling sideways and flagging. We need to break out of this type of scenario. If not, we're going to likely see gold roll downward, retest these lows, and then potentially attempt to move even lower. More now, again, this is the A or B type scenario. Remember, I'm always trying to give you an A or B type scenario. So the A scenario is that gold breaks above these highs and pushes higher. That's the A scenario, meaning that it breaks and continues to rally. The B scenario is that it breaks downward and continues to weaken down here into this lower area. That's what this excess phase peak pattern is setting up. And in essence, we have the same invert pattern here. I've talked to you guys about these patterns all the time, and I do see these on a regular basis. So here's the lower downward trend to a lower, call it trough or bottom, come back up to here. There's our pullback, and here comes our flagging. So what does that mean? Well, that means that we have, again, an inverted excess phase peak pattern that is rolling to the downside within this flagging formation. And what would likely happen is either A, it's going to continue to roll down and break lower. That would be the continuation of trend mode. Or the breakaway is that it's going to break up, move up here, move into consolidation, and then move up higher to an ultimate high. And that would be the reversion trade, meaning it's continuing the excess phase peak pattern. And that would be, oops, that's kind of where I'm at with this setup. As I look at this, we've got the dual flagging. And what we're looking at here is either we're going to break down with gold over the next 2, 3, 4 days, or we're going to break up to an ultimate high. And it makes more sense that we're going to break up into an ultimate high pattern here. Try to get this here. And it makes more sense that we're going to break to an ultimate high. Trying to find a bright color for you. And break up into this area, the 74.10, 74.30. Obviously, this is doable. This would represent a fairly solid downward correction, but watching gold at this point in time ahead of the elections move down below 2600 just doesn't seem real feasible to me. I mean, honestly, it doesn't seem very feasible to me. It could happen, but I see it more moving up to the upside, hedging fear ahead of the election, hedging, global uncertainty. To me, it seems like we move up into again this area, 25th, 26th, 27th, and then start to really. That's what I've drawn here up into this area, 25th, 26th, and then start to roll downwards. So I would hedge that or estimate that we've got about a 22% downward risk, and we've got probably a 70-80% upward potential given the layout of gold right now. And until we get this breakdown below 26, call it 2620, let's call it. I am going to be more biased to the upside. If it breaks down below 2620, which is kind of this area right here, then I will get worried of the downside risk for gold. Until then, I think it wants to push higher, and I think that's the general consensus with metals overall, is they want to continue to push higher as fear escalates ahead of the election. Okay, lastly, Bitcoin 65,600. Okay, look, we've moved into consolidation just like I stated. So this is perfect. We've moved into the consolidation. Look, it almost exactly mirrored what I drew. All right, well, that's okay. Maybe I had some kind of a premonition there, but this is good. This is the phase 3. We're now moving into sideways channeling. This sets up this range right here as the level to watch for a rally phase. A breakaway, it's either going to get an A breakaway phase up here. Make sure I get the right one. It's either going to get an A breakaway phase up there or a B breakdown phase right here. Nothing much to do until we get out of this zone. Given the amount of time that it's rallied through this cycle, this flagging pattern here, again, the consolidation pattern could be about as equal to this time here. So I'd say probably about there. And that means that we could be looking at until Wednesday, maybe consolidating into Wednesday. But remember, folks, with Bitcoin here, you're going to get either your A rally phase continuation to an ultimate high, or your B trend continuation, which will attempt to then take out this low and then eventually try to come down and take out this low. So we're in a breakaway. We're setting up a breakaway. We don't want to be taking any real trades until we get above 66,120 or below 65,000 on Bitcoin. Okay, I am going to work on some coffee. It's very early for me here in the morning, and we will catch you guys up with market activity a little later. Very solid day. Love the comments. Like I said, guys, I'm trying to help you guys, and I got a lot of technology in the background that you guys don't even know exists or works. But anyway, long and short of it, this has come from a lot of experience and a lot of building. Just so you know, I've spent the last basically 30 years of my life building advanced AI and predictive modeling systems. So what happens is I'm trying to use the technology I have to, develop the best solutions going forward. Okay, guys, I'm going to go back over here to the SPY. We are going to, this is a 30-minute SPY, our real data here. And you can see where I think the markets are going up based on my patterns. But what we're going to do here is we're going to watch for that continued rally here. So we're just slightly up today. Remember, we're moving into earnings. Once we get to the 15th, 16th, 17th, we start moving into very solid earnings season, and they go until roughly November 15th or 20th. So be aware, we've got a good solid month of earnings going into Q4 right now. Should be very exciting overall. All right, guys, talk to you later.